Well, I wanted to start off after hearing Heath this morning and some of the IT specialists that were talking this morning and say, if you need help with Twitter or tweeting or Jabber or Facebook, give me a buzz. I'm up to speed. I've got everything. I got it all done today. So I've learned all that you need to know. So all of you folks in my age group that really want to get into this, I got it. But seriously, how about Heath's speech today and Jeff? Yeah. Totally blew me away when I went back to the room and my wife said, how'd he get so smart? Yeah. Well, she takes after me, baby. So, but you know what, when Jeff and all those guys spoke about all that IT stuff, it's real. The disruption, it's real stuff. You know, 29 years ago, we were the disruptors. We disrupted this industry big time. We put the industry on its ear from what we did for producers and partners and employees and built a culture that was absolutely unbelievable as far as I'm concerned. When 29 years ago, Valley and I took our shot, you know, we had an opportunity to stay at an agency and keep a job and do pretty well and raise our son and be involved in sports and all that, but we weren't happy. Wasn't happy at the agency. The agency I was with kept changing contracts, so I wanted out of there, and so did she. And thank God we made that move. So 29 years ago, yeah. And I know a lot of you have heard this story over the years, but I'm going to briefly go through it, and I won't talk long tonight. But when we took our shot, we knew we had to do something different. We couldn't be mom and pop. You couldn't go down the street and write $1 million of revenue anymore. You really had to get someplace, get in there and grow. So what we did is we sat down and said, let's build something unique. And when I talk about unique, is this unique? Yeah. You know, at that point you had to, and I wasn't very smart at the time. Still not all that smart today. Not as smart as Heath, obviously. That's my wife. But, you know, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wasn't getting at that other agency. I knew what I wanted. And I felt like I needed to do something different, so I cast a vision of 5 things. I wanted to take the greed out of the insurance agency business. I wanted to share the wealth with all of you. I wanted book equity. I wanted new and renewal commissions to be the same, and I wanted you to have stock ownership. And that was my 5 goals. That's what I set out to do 29 years ago, thinking that would be a local success. And my God, God had a better plan than I did, because, you know, we're more than a local success thanks to all of you. All of that happened because 2 kids from Pittsburgh took a shot. You know, they often say that I'm the kid from the projects and she's the kid from the trailer park, and we took our shot. And I'm really glad we did that. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of dedication, a lot of faith, hard work, and sacrifices. I worked day and night, and so did Valley. We'd go coach in the afternoon, and we'd go clean office buildings at night. We sacrificed to make sure that this thing was going to work. When I started IOF at the time, I borrowed $10,000 to start this company. Thank God that bank was so stupid they gave me a loan. You know, when I look back at it, I think it worked. You think it worked? Yeah. Those 5 values that I came up with really set the tone to do something way more than I ever dreamed of, because it started to build a culture of all of those values rolled into one, in a place that people wanted to be, not handcuffed to something like Heath talked about this morning. If you want to leave, God bless you. Take your shot. I did. And he feels the same way. So when you're building a company like this, you have to give people the freedom to go do what you did and do what Valley and I did 29 years ago. The last goal I came up with, and this wasn't until a little later after I set the 5 goals, I wanted to make this company generational. Because when I moved from Pittsburgh, I sold my agency up there to a guy that worked for me for quite a while, somebody I trusted dearly, and he was going to pay me out over 6 years. 6 months later, he quit paying me. I had to make a choice. Do I go back to Pittsburgh, or do I stay here and build this? Well, I stayed, thank God. I could have went back and probably made a good living, but thank God I'm in Florida, and thank God we built this company. Now, when you talk about building a generational company, what's that look like? How do you build a generational company from what we did early on, starting with all these core values and stuff? Well, I knew I had to get a next generation. And there were several of us that were really good at what we did. When I surrounded myself with a lot of talent with Wes Scovanner, Bruce Bertelsen, and a whole lot of other people that are in my age group that, they're the last generation, and the next generation's coming in now. I'm the one that's left over right now. I got Bruce is retiring in end of June. Wes retired this year. I got my best friend, Ray Gross, and the guy that's had my back for all of my life. Getting to see my generation go out the right way is unbelievable. And when you talk about generational, it really doesn't happen until somebody retires. Wes picked his people. Bruce picked his people. Ray has got a son in the business that stepped right in and is doing a great job for us. So that's what I mean by generational. So I've done my job on the generational side for me. It was easy for me because I had Heath. And 10 years ago, I'm sure he doubted whether he could do this. And I'm not sure I was all that sure. But I tell you what, after today, my God, what a thrill for me and his mom to sit there and listen to that. It's unbelievable. When you retire, there's a right way and a wrong way. And we've got examples of that throughout IOA. We've had people retire the right way. We've had people retire the wrong way. And I can tell you, the right way is much better for everybody involved. Valley and I will retire right. We will do it the right way. We've made a decision at our last board retreat down in the Cayman Islands. I made a decision, and I forgot to tell her, that at the end of 18, we're both going to retire. That'll give us 30 years of building a culture, building a vision, and completing what we wanted to complete. Now, I'm going to do it right. And there's a lot of people in this room that are still my age group, or a little younger, and some older. You need to figure it out, folks. You need to do it right. With all of these things that Heath and Jeff and these guys talked about, there's threats out there that you and I can't handle. Our generation doesn't have a clue how to handle that kind of stuff, nor do I want to. I thank God for the leadership that we have in this company. We have a board of directors that's awesome. Heath has become the best leader I could have ever dreamed. He surrounded himself with a group of leaders that's unbelievable. And I'll tell you, I couldn't be more proud. So at the end of next year's meeting, that may be the last time a lot of you see me, Maybe not. Maybe I'll come back for some meetings. But, I want to thank you all for being so loyal. I want to thank you for joining IOA when you joined IOA. And for all of you guys that are still thinking about joining IOA, you're a dumbass if you don't.